Hi and welcome, chart artists. While we wait for our swing portfolios TP1s to go and hit, while we've been building the positions to the downside, you can still take some amazing day trading opportunities on the altcoins that are showing momentum to the upside. And I will share those strategies and those altcoins with you, some of the trading setups that I'm currently watching. Here you can see my swing portfolio that I still have running and waiting patiently for the TP1s to hit. But while you sit on your hands and wait for these trades to play out, we can still do some amazing day trade opportunities during the day for the alts that are showing tremendous strength still to the upside. Right, so here you can see still my swing portfolio is open, some nice profits here on the go, still waiting patiently for the TP1s to hit. Right, but while I wait for the swing portfolio to build momentum to the upside, I am still taking advantage of some of the alts that are showing tremendous strength. Also, I'm using Bybit here for my larger portfolio because they offer a ridiculous 20% discount for my community. Go down in the description right now and you will see a section over here. You click on more and you will see Bybit for my community. When you sign up now, you will benefit from a 20% fee reduction, and that is why I'm building some amazing swing trades with low fees at the moment. And for my scalping trades with the lowest fees, I also use Mexi over here. Right, go down, sign up right now and come trade with me. Let's get into a little bit of fundamental news. First up, Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index. At the moment here at extreme greed. Okay, it can stay here for a while and even accelerate a little bit before we potentially see a correction to the downside to try and just bring this back to a neutral position. Okay, next up, new BlackRock and Fidelity now own a combined 296,000 Bitcoin with 19.8 billion for their spot Bitcoin ETFs. That is absolutely amazing, and you can truly see this reflect in the price of Bitcoin, where the supply has just diminished to a point that it's driving price, where we now sitting claimed the all-time highs. Okay, next up, Bitcoin ETF flows. New Bitcoin ETFs have taken almost 3 billion in the last 7 days, and you can just see still momentum carrying here to the upside, with the ETFs just being bought up like hotcakes. Right, next up, Bitcoin is gearing up for a massive move. It's consolidating above the last resistance level on the chart, right? Consolidating above this resistance over here, and for some traders this is a bullish sign. When you pierce the resistance, you consolidate inside the resistance, it is a sign for building up that spring for momentum here to the upside. Only time will tell. We're not here to predict the market. We trade the market up and down with good risk management, and that is how we make money from a trader's perspective. Right, last up, liquidity piling up at the bottom and at the top. And often what happens with Bitcoin is it will consolidate inside the two liquidity zones, building up more and more and more liquidity. And once the market makers have made a decision, they will then go and grab the liquidity for the true move to then play out, filling their bags, sending the price either to the upside or to the downside. Right, let's go and analyze the price of Bitcoin here quickly. Okay, looking at the price of Bitcoin over here, keeping the analysis extremely simple, I've been tracking this momentum here from a trend line perspective to the downside. And then we finally broke out and we just consolidated, and it feels like we were building up a spring for either the upside or to the downside. Okay, the one scenario that I am still watching is to say that, well, we have a daily level over here, right? A daily level, untapped daily level, and then also we have a lot of liquidity above this high. So one of the scenarios that I'm watching, and it's all about observing the price reaction at each level, is that one scenario is we tap the daily, we perhaps fail to break through, observing the reaction, getting in, stop loss above the high, moving your stop to break even when you're in some nice decent profits, and perhaps we then come and bounce here. If I take a flip from the bottom to the potential top that will form over here, and let's just play out this what if scenario, is to say that, well, if we do SFP from this level over here, perhaps we find downside to either come and bounce here by the 50% FIB level or by the 0.618 that has perfect confluence with the macro 0.88. When you take a FIB from the all-time high to the low, we still have that 0.88 that is offering resistance and support, for then a bounce to come and grab the liquidity above all these highs, stopping out all the early shorters, and then we'll see what happens over here. Do we come back down for an SFP, right, for further momentum to the downside, or do we build up strength above for continuation to the upside? Right, let's dive into some of the altcoins that are still showing some strength here to the upside. First up, Doge. Hope you have not forgotten about Doge. Looking at some of the other meme coins, Doge feels like it still has a little bit of gas in the tank. If you look at what Shiba Inu did, for example, and Pepe, they have far surpassed where Doge is at the moment. So simple trend line strategy over here, where you wait for the trend to break, and finally it looks like we have some green volume coming in, and a trading scenario that I've also shared with our Discord Legends community, link down in the description. 25% discount if you want the alpha first, where I share daily video updates for possible trading scenarios. Right, so let's see what happens over here. Please do not FOMO into trade. Always practice good risk management and know where to take profits. Right, so you can see I'm here on the 15-minute time frame, and when you go and zoom in onto the daily, it looks like this coin has done phenomenal things here to the upside. Okay, just waiting for that to load up. Right, and here you can see on the daily, it looks like one candle here to the upside, a massive rejection, but I love to go and look at coins that are showing strength to the upside, because when you then go and zoom into the smaller time frames, you can still go and play the breakouts to the upside, where it's just climbing up the stairs to the upside. Right, so at the moment, Doge is one of the trades that I'm looking at. Next up, Algorand. Okay, also posted this in my video update this morning to the Legends community, where I said I'm tracking this momentum here to the downside. This is the trading setup that I'm looking at, taking profits here by the highs, and finally we hit the highs. Trade in the bag. Right, next up, AVAX. Right, zooming out here onto the 4-hour. Let me just show you where we are from a structural perspective. I am still watching this momentum here to the upside, and I had this little flag over here where we broke out. We fell back down, we grabbed the liquidity, we bounced here perfectly on support, and now we broke back out again, which is quite a bullish sign for AVAX here at the moment. And then when you go and zoom into the 15 minutes, you want to catch those little momentums to the upside, where we've broken out. Okay, you can see we're above trend, we broke down, we grabbed the liquidity, we formed a new momentum here to the upside, we are back outside of the trend, and this is the breakout that I played here on AVAX, anticipating us to come and claim this high over here. Right, so the reason I'm showing AVAX here is, even from a larger time frame perspective, it really looks good. We have broken out of the flag and we have some high green volume kicking in. Could this be the moment where we are going to see an explosion here from AVAX here to the upside and even further targets? So TP1 for me is around about here, the $52 level, TP3 around about the $68 level, and my ultimate TP that I'm looking at, which I still think is conservative, is right here by $93.50. Okay, next up, Zilliqa. Also, when you zoom out here onto the 4-hour, and I've mentioned this yesterday during my session as well, is to say we tapped the 1.618 to perfection, right? 1.618 to perfection, and we got a rejection to the downside. Okay, but it doesn't look like Zilliqa is finished just as yet, because when you then go and zoom into the smaller time frames to see what is the price action doing, right? Also tracking this momentum here to the downside, is it looks like there is still a little bit of gas in the tank to break out. You do a couple of retests and you go and claim that level again. Right, possible trading setup is plan your trade, know where to take profits. Okay, know where to enter with good risk management, and know where to put your stop loss. A 4.5 risk to reward ratio is phenomenally good. Please exercise good risk management. This is the strategy that I apply when I see altcoins having strength here to the upside. I go and build trends. And I still play the breakouts to the upside, because when I zoom into the 8-hour, for example, and let's just look at the bigger structure, is to say that, well, if this is a wave 1, 2, and we are now busy with the third wave, we have just tapped a common third wave target. But it's not to say that we are just going to roll down here. Okay, we can go and tap the 2618. We can go and tap the 3618. We can go and tap the 4618. Okay, to put it into perspective, Shiba Inu has already surpassed the 5.618, where it went high and it got a rejection to the downside. So third waves in Elliott wave theory can be extremely explosive to the upside, but we have to acknowledge, and this is where I also took profits on Zilliqa on my swing portfolio. I took a little bit of profits here by the 1.618, acknowledging that it is still a third wave target where we can see a rejection. Okay, but on the smaller time frames, there are still breakouts happening that you can play from a day trading perspective. Right, I am also looking at a gaming token, Eluvium, and I know a lot of people love this coin also, and I am just, painting the scenario over here. I'm tracking this momentum here to the downside. It looks like we found support above these highs, so very curious to see that if we do break out here, it looks like we can find some juicy momentum here to the upside. smashing through the 0.618, and then we still have targets further above, and I will take profits on the way up. You take profits here by the 1-to-1 ratio and here by the 618 as an ultimate target for this trade. Okay, but this is a low leverage, low position capital. If you want to play this trade all the way up here, I would not recommend going 100x or 50x leverage with your entire account. This is a small 2x, 3x maximum leverage position, small capital that you deploy, because the insanes are absolutely crazy here to the upside, giving you a 77%. You do not need a lot of leverage and capital to make significant gains with these moves to the upside. Okay, because you have to acknowledge, well, if you are building a swing position over here, your stop loss is going to have to be most probably under this low, and that low is right 20% away. If you go into this trade with a 10x leverage your entire account, you will be liquidated way before you get to your stop loss hit. Okay, that is all from me today. If you haven't watched this live stream where I have a show full jam-packed with the best alpha, where I discuss moon phases and how to dollar cost average in your portfolio and plenty more, and some of the trades that I discussed in this video are still valid for a swing position, and you can see from the portfolio that I've shared with you, I've made some significant gains to the upside. Until the next one, cheers for now.